Imagine, if you can, being hit by a wave, not of water, but of thick, sticky, syrupy molasses. Sounds like something out of a cartoon, right? But on January 15th, 1919, in the north end of Boston, this wasn't a joke. It was a terrifying, deadly reality. A disaster so bizarre it's hard to believe it actually happened. And yet, it did. This is the story of the Great Boston Molasses Flood, a forgotten tragedy that unfolded in a matter of minutes, leaving destruction, death, and a smell that lingered for decades. In the early 20th century, molasses wasn't just for baking cookies. It was a valuable industrial commodity, especially during World War I, used to produce ethanol for munitions and other purposes. The Purity Distilling Company, a subsidiary of a larger corporation, had a massive tank right here on the waterfront, capable of holding millions of gallons of the thick, dark syrup. It was conveniently located for ships to unload and trains to carry the product away. But this tank, built in 1915, was a disaster waiting to happen. It was constructed quickly, with little oversight or proper engineering, and almost immediately it started showing warning signs. It leaked, constantly. So much so that local children would apparently bring containers to collect the molasses seeping from the seams. Residents complained, but the company, in a move that seems unbelievable today, reportedly just painted the tank brown to try and hide the leaks. It was a clear indication that the tank wasn't sound, but profit and urgency came first. On the day of the flood, January 15th, it was unseasonably warm after a cold spell. A fresh shipment of warm molasses had just been pumped into the tank, mixing with the cooler molasses already inside. This temperature difference, combined with fermentation within the tank, likely increased the internal pressure significantly. The already weak structure was being pushed to its absolute limit. Then just after noon it happened. With a roar that some survivors compared to thunder or even gunfire, the tank ruptured. Rivets shot out like bullets, and millions of gallons of molasses surged out. This wasn't a slow, gentle flow. This was a wave. Estimates vary, but it was reportedly between 15 and 40 feet high, tearing through Commercial Street and the surrounding neighborhood at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. Buildings were ripped from their foundations. Wooden structures were flattened, and even a nearby firehouse was swept away. The impact was devastating. People, horses, and vehicles were caught in the fast-moving, incredibly strong current of syrup. Being hit by the wave was like being hit by a liquid hammer, but the real horror came next. As the molasses spread and cooled in the January air, it became thicker, trapping anything caught in it. Rescue efforts were immediate but incredibly difficult. Rescuers had to wade through the thick, sticky, knee-deep, and in places, chest-deep molasses. People were suffocated or crushed by debris carried in the flood or trapped in the goo. In total, 21 people lost their lives and over 150 were injured. Many horses working in the area also perished, described as being drowned like so many flies on sticky fly paper. The cleanup was an epic task. The molasses had coated everything, seeping into basements and clinging to wreckage. Fire departments used salt water from the harbor to try and wash it away. It took weeks, involving hundreds of workers and thousands of man-hours just to clear the main streets. The story of the Boston Molasses Flood is a potent lesson in the consequences of negligence. What aspect of this disaster surprised you the most? The cause, the impact, or perhaps the lingering smell? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this video insightful, giving it a like helps others discover this forgotten history. And consider sharing it with anyone you know who loves strange but true stories from the past. Don't forget to subscribe for more historical deep dives.